going incredible. I mean, by the way, I saw your feature. Bruce Springsteen. That was great. Thank you for that. It's an amazing experience so far. That's all I can say.
Can we talk about how you grew up with music?
I will absolutely tell you about that. So when I was like a baby, like, you know, 3 or 4 years old, I could always remember being in the car or being in the house and there being music all around me. I remember things playing from Fleetwood Mac to 90s rock to, you know, Sarah Brightman or Andrea Bocelli. It was just such a diverse amount of music in my household. So there was everything from rock to operatic, you know, pop, like Sarah Brightman or something like that. And as much as my parents loved it, I also embraced that type, you know, music they were listening to. It was never forced on me. You know, I embraced it and I latched onto it. And then when I was 6 years old, I discovered the guitar, and my parents realized I had a knack for it. And my dad began introducing me to 60s rock and roll, and that became like the love of my life, you know. He was introducing me to, you know, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, the Doors, the Rolling Stones, and stuff like that, like Zeppelin, and he was playing it for me, and it was never forced on me. I was just embracing it, and I absolutely fell in love with the passion, the energy, and the heart that was put into that music back then. And you can just, even from that age, you could just tell how real it was, because when I was around like 6 or 7, you know, that was a time when boy bands were ruling the radio, and, you know, I was listening to rock and roll at that time, because that's what, you know, I felt like that was so real. And, you know, so basically at around age 11, my first band, and within a year, I was already opening up for some national acts. What was so cool about that age, around 12, 13, I was also getting into like night runs or like Nirvana or Pearl Jam and stuff like that. And I began kind of molding my sound. I was kind of beginning to ask myself, like, what is my sound? You know, how am I going to write, what are my songs going to sound like? I began writing a little bit. And so I was opening up for, you know, some acts that spawned off the TV shows, and you know, so I remember opening up for a band called Living Color who had the big hit called The Personality from the 80s. And you know, I was doing musicals, and I was just doing a lot of things. And I felt like at that age I was just getting my sound. I was really motivated to find who I was as an artist. And, you know, even at that age, you find yourself trying to sound like, you know, each song would sound like something else, you know. And as I grew and I grew older, you know, these songs began having a sound. So I felt like everything, by the time I was at 15 or 16, I felt like everything I've ever loved, everything I've ever listened to, whether it's rock and roll or Sarah Brightman or something like that, it was just all in like a melting pot and coming into one, you know. And I just felt like all that stuff has had a tremendous influence on me. And, you know, I've been in and out of a record deal, you know, and you know, I was signed briefly when I was 16, but due to creative differences and a lack of artistic respect, I had to end. And since then, I've come very close, and you know, there were things that I felt were going to happen, and they didn't. And so I was just kind of, you know, a little bit in the status quo before I came on the show. So that's kind of how they all led up to this, you know?
Yeah. Because we think that it doesn't really matter if you win or don't win. That's what we think.
Yes, for sure. I mean, because you have to, you know, and to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how America was going to react to a 20-year-old guy singing these classic songs, or, you know, even if the technology was going to work properly for the show. I had no clue what was going to happen that first night. So getting up to this point is incredible for me, just because I went into this not even knowing what to expect. And one more thing before your next question is that, you know, being on national TV 3 times, you know, opens doors automatically. You know, it's just the performing for all these people, showing who you are, you know, what your soul, you know, showing your soul to America. It really, no matter what, will open doors, I feel.
You've just said something so important, Jesse, and I mean, honestly, I'm gobsmacked by it, really. And you said that you're opening your soul, and it's opening your soul on national TV that's opening doors.
You know, I almost feel like I've been, I don't know how to say this, but before the show, you know, it wasn't the most social person. I mean, I wasn't like going out to parties and like, and doing anything, focused on music. And I felt like I've been waiting for something like this. I almost feel like I've been an animal in hibernation, and all of a sudden I've just come out, and I've just, you know, come out on the stage and just, you know, released my soul to everybody, you know. And I felt like I've never done that in person. I feel like things I do on stage, you know, the emotion I show you on stage, I feel I don't show in person. And that's why I feel most at peace on stage, because I feel like I'm releasing, I don't know what it is. When I'm on stage, I just feel like I'm releasing something, and I've never been able to figure it out, but I feel like so much is built up, you know, over the years, so much emotional stuff, and so many things have happened, and it's like, it's just being released. The thing I'm so glad about is that I've only had, like, before the show, I've only had videos that, like, have been recorded on a home camera.
Yeah.
But now I have these, like, professional videos, and it's so cool with it. For the next step, I'd really love to, you know, no matter what happens, no matter what my fate is for the show, I'd really love to make an album. I mean, I would love to make an album. Yeah, that's the goal.
If you could do a gig with absolutely anybody, and they can be alive or dead, who would you have on stage with you?
If I can do a gig, you know what? They'd have to. Okay, I'll give you 2 that are alive and 2 that are dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, 2 that are alive: Bruce Springsteen and Jack White. That are dead: John Lennon and John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix.
Whatever happens to you on this show, I can't see anything other than an entirely musical life ahead for you.
Yeah, I can't see anything else either. I mean, it's just like, I don't feel like life will ever be the same. You know, I don't see how it could possibly be. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's ahead, and, you know, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. So every time I go on stage, I just feel like there's like an infinite amount of it. I just feel, you know, I always tell everybody, you know, even when people make song suggestions, I say the most important thing is that I have to believe in the song I sing. And if I don't believe in it, nobody else is going to believe in it. So it's important. Emotion is one of the most important things to me. Just to know that I'm going to pour my heart and soul out on this song.
Well, the thing is, Jesse, that I know that I'm speaking to you now, and I know how lucky I am, because I'm absolutely certain that come what may, you're going to be one of the biggest, most significant musicians in the world. I'm absolutely certain about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not at all.
Thank you.
Well, no, I thank you, because it's very, very humbling speaking to you. But we have, and I have a lot of faith. No, not at all. I've just, that's definitely what I think. And this moment is special, actually, Jessie.
Wow.
Yeah, for me it is, for sure. I really trust you.
Oh, thank you.
In the world of fantasy, yeah. So it doesn't have to be fantastical, but it could be. If you were playing your ideal gig with your ideal lineup, where would it be? So it could be in a desert, or it could be on a comet, or something like that. Where would it be?
There's actually two places. It would be at the Grammys, and also, if it were possible, to play a show in front of all 7 billion people on Earth and sing a song about peace in front of 7 billion people, and sing it in every single language.
Yeah.
That sounds weird, I know.
No, that sounds like the truth to me.